They tried to come at Lauren Boebert sideways, and even the leftist outlets were uncomfortable with how little evidence they had. With these allegations, I don't know. We don't know what's true, what's not true. So I'm not saying that these aren't true, but what we do know is the evidence is slight to nil. Democrats have seized on a political action committee's allegations that Representative Lauren Boebert from Colorado worked as a prostitute and had multiple abortions, claims that rest on zero actual evidence. This is according to the Daily Beast of all outlets. I continue. On Tuesday, Americans Muckrakers PAC, co-founded by a Democrat and former North Carolina State Senate candidate David Wheeler, published allegations claiming that Boebert had previously worked as an escort on a sugar daddy website. Didn't know that was a thing. There's websites out there, apparently, y'all, for people who are looking for sugar daddies. I did not know that was a thing. I thought that was Tinder. So they are alleging that she underwent 2 abortions. They're getting all this dirt that they're supposedly throwing her way. Man, it's a lot of allegations flying around. I hope there's a lot of evidence to back it up. Well, let's see. Occupy Democrats wanted to talk about it. They said, breaking news. The American Muckrakers PAC alleges that Lauren Boebert used to be an unlicensed paid escort and met clients using a sugar daddy website. Allegedly, her escort work led her to having an abortion. Like, this is something to just use as political fodder. Man, there's nothing too low beneath these people. The facts are still unconfirmed. Retweet if you think that sounds true. They're not even hiding it. They're like, the facts are unconfirmed. You know, if Occupy Democrats are saying this, there's not much here. And they, in all caps, they end all of their tweets in all caps, which it kind of breaks it up in a nice way. It's actually smart marketing. But they end in all caps. Retweet if you think that sounds true. If you think it might be true, spread these rumors. She's a public official or a public person, so the defamation laws are very difficult. You have to prove that Occupy Democrats or anybody else, this muckraker PAC, that they're lying. They have to prove that they're knowingly lying. Then you have to prove that you have serious damages, like to the penny. How did you get damaged? Very high bar. So they know that, and all they put in there was like, the facts are unconfirmed, so they're good, and they could do whatever they want. Dirty game, man. You got to peep game, though. Lauren Boebert replied, fact check, not true. Fake news for Pinocchios. Also, y'all need Jesus. Lauren's going to talk about Jesus in a second in the clip that I'm going to play for you. But obviously, she's saying the stuff is a lie. She's threatening lawsuits. I don't know if that's going to go through, because the funny thing about a lawsuit, if there is any truth to any of this, it would probably come out. And I already told you about that high bar. So I don't blame her for threatening lawsuits, though. So what's the evidence here? This Muckrakers PAC, they backed up their claims. This is outlandish claims. This is from the Daily Beast, a completely corporate approved outlet. Even though they have been designated as fake news, they are pro-corporate. This is the same group that rose to some political fame earlier this year after they released several lewd videos of Representative Madison Cawthorn. Remember those? The infamous crotch grab.
Be filled with passion and desire. Would like to see your naked body beneath my hands.
Me too. I'd like to do that as well. Yeah.
And I was just playing around and humping my friend like I was very serious and playing around, but it looked like it was very sensual act. He leapt out of his wheelchair and was like, bink, boop. He leapt out of his wheelchair like he had done it before. It was like, what? I don't know how you play with your friends, but that's not how I play with mine. This time, though, the group doesn't have videos to support their allegations, so it's less now. Instead, they have heavy redacted text messages. So these are text messages, and they have the screenshots with an anonymous party supposedly close to Boebert. Damn, Boebert, with friends like that, I don't know if it's true or not, but they got texts, and they said that. This is how Daily Beast put it. These text messages from this supposed person close to Boebert sketches out a tale that enters the realms of lurid liberal fan fiction. The text messages describe Boebert as a sex worker plucked from obscurity on a sugar daddy website by one of her clients. I'm going to show a picture here in a second, and it's not her. It's not Boebert. A member of the Koch family. That client, in this PAC's telling, then introduced Lauren Boebert to Ted Cruz, who urged her to run for office. We don't know how much truth there is in that statement or not. But what we do know is at least one of the source's claims has already been disproven. Oops. In the text message log, the source provided the PAC with a picture of what they described as Boebert, wearing a short white dress. And without her glasses and with blonde hair, it was kind of hard to tell if was that really Boebert or not. The source claimed the photo was taken for Boebert's profile on a sugar daddy website. But the woman in the pictures is actually Melissa Carone. She was the one that was rolling with Rudy Giuliani, remember, after 2020 happened?
She's the Trump campaign's star witness, and she's turning into an overnight viral sensation.
I know what I saw, and I signed something saying that if I'm wrong, I can go to prison.
This look, there's so much going on in this look, and I don't want to sidetrack from this. I'm not saying she doesn't look good. I'm just saying she looks like she came out of the 80s, like Las Vegas in 1980 or something like that, or maybe 79 with the hair. Like she would have been like cutting edge in 1979 with those shoes, the ankle bracelet, the hair, the headband. Hey, do you? But that's not Lauren Boebert. That's the point. So Wheeler claims his PAC has more information it could release on Boebert because you know that they stack this stuff up and release it in like waves. But he was like, we might have done everything we can in Colorado at this point, probably because he messed up. They like to make fun of the 17th letter crew, but what we saw here is Blue Anon. Blue Anon, a loosely organized network of liberals, politicians, and media like CNN and the New York Times, who spread left-wing conspiracies and never apologize for their lies. There's nothing more Blue Anon than this right here. And notice how the fact checkers that usually come out like boom, 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 you're not really seeing anything. Fact check, fact check. There are problems with Lauren Boebert. I mean, sometimes she tries too hard. You know, this is a marketing thing to be funny or whatever. And sometimes it falls flat.
On Twitter, a lot of the little Twitter trolls, they like to say, oh, Jesus didn't need an AR-15. How many AR-15s do you think Jesus would have had? Well, he didn't have enough to keep his government from killing him. So...
Mixed. Yeah, like... cringe. So, with these rumors aside, let's assume the rumors were true. We are in a place where I couldn't care less. I have the same take that I had about Madison Cawthorn, which I didn't like him. And Lauren Boebert, I have problems with her. She called Nick Fuentes a white supremacist and doesn't associate with him. If you can't understand Nick's role in all this and articulate it without compromising your position, you're probably not good enough of a communicator, or you don't understand the moment that we're in right now well enough. So that's a big reason why I can't get with her fully. And sometimes when she tries to go out there a little radical, even when she's doing the people's work, it can hit home.
Hunter Biden lied on a federal firearms application, which is punishable by up to 10 years and a $250,000 fine, of which 10% will not be going to the big guy. Rules for thee, but not for my crackhead Parmesan smoking gun criminal son.
Can't lie, that was kind of gangster, but is it substantive? I don't know. Ultimately, I'm not against her, but I will give Lauren Boebert some advice. Know your role, know your place. You do have a place in the America First movement. Our interests have aligned in certain aspects. But one area that you need to understand, and understand this with all your heart and might, is do not ever put hands or try to allegedly put hands on the most important person in the populist movement in our country right now, Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you remember, Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene allegedly engaged each other in a tense exchange over Greene's attendance at a February conference, which we would know as AFPAC 3, organized by white nationalist Nick Fuentes. He's Hispanic. He's a nationalist. He's a Hispanic dude who is a nationalist. They're trying to use this as a pejorative. I'm a black, you would label me as a black person, and I am a nationalist as well. And I don't view that as they view it. The same Nick Fuentes that just appeared in Bryson Gray's Happy video.
I'm a hateful bigot and everything I say is so mean.
That Bryson Gray, black guy with a lot of other black people, that's the white nationalist that they would label as a racist. Marjorie Taylor Greene faced criticism, and the last person I thought who would try to even get involved, much less put hands on her for this, would be Boebert. So Boebert, you don't really understand your role. You don't understand your place. It got heated to the point where people had to step in between them. That's where I have a problem with her, assuming all the other stuff was true and they couldn't get her on any legal stuff now. Don't care. Is she going to fight for my freedom? My number one concern is digital rights. Our First Amendment rights should be covered under these large social media platforms that are nothing more than government agencies. We'll see if Elon is able to get Twitter. Number two, getting rid of this executive emergency power that the President Biden still has. So I'm not worried about Boebert's past as long as she fights for those things in the present. And if people did have to step in between Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, I would say Marjorie Taylor Greene is who I would pick in that battle. I'm just saying. So maybe people helped Lauren Boebert out more than Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, what she's doing here, I have no idea, but she gets her workouts in, so I would still side with her. My takeaway is stuff like this, throwing out allegations and dirt with little to no evidence at all, is a big reason why common people don't run for office. It's a reason why we don't have populists. We need common people running for office if we want to win. I just found out that Jimmy Dore is running for office. I think it's official. Big news. So I don't care about all this salacious stuff. Where are you now? Are you legal now? And are you fighting for my goddamn rights now? That's what matters to me. And if you still love this country, I have a new shirt, new gear. I ordered some test copies, so I'll be getting them and rocking them as soon as they arrive. Still love this country. This one will have the heart fully together. I want to do a design where the heart is broken, but I want to make it positive in some type of way. We'll see how that looks. But you can stop by. The link is in the description. Let me know what you think about Lauren Boebert. Do you care about these allegations? Does it affect you at all or not? Are you like me? Do you have problems that allegedly she thought she was big enough to physically and figuratively in the MAGA movement to try to put hands on Marjorie Taylor Greene? Don't do that, girl.